when we look back on the challenging and hard things in our life, we can see the gift in it from where we are, having gone through it. And I used to say I wouldn't have chosen it, but I'm so grateful for it. And so the magic in life is when you're going through the hardship and challenges, to look for the gift in the moment. Don't wait until after you're out of the hardship and challenge, but to look for the gifts in the moment and smile and laugh then, because you know that there's a gift there.
Welcome to Allow Yourself podcast. I always like to remind you that this is a space to breathe, to listen, and to see beyond differences. And no matter your gender, the political view, your faith view, you really belong in this conversation, because when we allow ourselves to listen, then we grow. We allow ourselves to see things from different perspectives so we can learn and grow and unite in humanity. That is what we have. And today we have an amazing guest that I know personally, that we have worked together in some backstages. And the name is Martha Simon.
Marjah
Yeah,
Simon.
Simon.
Yeah.
Simon. In Spanish is Simon. Okay.
Yeah.
Martha Simon. Okay. The 24K alchemist and CEO of Author Writers Academy,
Yes.
where she and her team turn entrepreneurs into best-selling authors, over 100 plus and counting. And the counting is me included.
Yes, yes.
An
Yeah.
entrepreneur, attorney, veteran, and 7X international best-selling author, Martha is really a true quantum courage expert who inspires others to expand their comfort zone and live in a next level life. So she also is the co-author of Next Life Next and the creator of the Next Life Next Mastermind, a space for bold personal evolution. So let's welcome Martha to the show. Hi, Martha.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. So nice to be here. Thank you, Batya, for inviting me.
It's an honor for me to have you here. Really, it's a privilege for me to have you, to have you here to share your heart and your wisdom with all
Mm.
the audience. Martha, I like to start with a question that when you hear allow yourself, what comes to mind?
Hmm. Allow yourself. It reminds me of one year. Every year I give my year a name, and I name it with the intentionality. And one year I named my year the year of yes. And I think most people have a default no in their life. And what that did was, by naming this, I set the standard. The minimum was I must say yes. And so my parameters were, if it wasn't obviously going to kill me and or addict me, I must say yes. And so I was, and of course, within the parameters of my belief systems of certain things, of course. And so, but what it did was it took me from that default no that most people have, where I would go no and go yes. And building that muscle, that resiliency of muscle of just say yes, helped me to show up again and again in ways that fear would have kept me from experiencing part of life. And so that's what comes to mind when I hear that phrase. In that year of yes, I found myself in all sorts of amazing, weird situations, walking across the bridge into Mexico, through Texas for the first time, and finding myself jumping out of planes and, riding horseback in the ocean, and doing, even though I'm afraid of deep water, and all of these incredible experiences. And I've taken that muscle from that year of yes. And then the next year, I named it my year of discernment. And so I was saying yes to the things that actually matter to me. And moving forward courageously with that. And so in that muscle building over the years, I've brought that into my life and I've been able to live an incredible life of courage. Um, and in my book, Next Life Next, we talk about the 4 types of courage: emotional courage, mental courage, spiritual courage, physical courage, and then even the fifth, leveraging the 5th type of courage, which is a higher courage, the communal courage. So having communities, like one of the ones where you and I met at Money and You, and having these beautiful communities of people that are like-minded on the same trajectory to help you to step in and elevate in your courage even faster. And so that's what comes to mind.
It's wow, that's amazing because the yes that you say, yeah, but that yes that you say is a yes to overcome fear, but in safety. It means really, really pushing yourself out of the comfort zone. We cannot say out of the box because there is no box anymore. There was no box.
There was no box.
No
Yeah.
box. So it was,
Mhm.
um, and the uncertainty usually is the way or the thing that we hold ourselves back. Um, because it's a yes to move forward. It's not a yes of pleasing others. It's saying yes to you. That
Yeah,
it's very different than saying yes to please others or to fit in. Is
absolutely.
is a very courage inside decision to say yes. And most people struggle to say no.
Mm.
They usually say yes, but that's the kind of yes of pleasing people and pleasing others.
So I
And
think we're always saying yes and no at the same time. When we say yes to things that aren't good for us, that are just to please others, we're saying no to ourselves. We're saying no to what empowers us. We're saying no, when we say yes to those things, we're saying no to the things that matter to our heart, our mind, our soul, our future. And when we flip it over and say yes to ourselves and say yes to the things that matter and say yes to the things that are going to move us into doing the things that we really want to experience in life. It's saying no to substandard living, saying no to the default, saying no to accepting less than you deserve, at saying no to the things that no longer serve you. So I think we're always saying yes and no at the same time. It's just a matter of which side of the yes and no do you want to be on.
okay, so at this perspective that you're seeing, you're flipping it. You flip it over, right? You can say no to me and be loyal to others, or I can say yes to me and be loyal to myself. Because that's one of the questions that are really hard to place. Who am I loyal with? No? And when you evolve, like you have worked yourself and going through so many stages that you can encourage, that you are in number one. You are already in the 5th step of courage of community and elevate yourself, and um, you have work and walk all the steps to get there. So for you, it's very clear that the loyalty is for you first in saying yes to you.
Yeah, and it's not from a place of selfishness, it's from a place of service. It's people think that when we say yes to ourselves, we're being selfish. But I serve people at the highest level all the time. And it is the most selfish thing when we give to people from our empty, from our less than. But when we say yes to ourselves, when we uplift and serve ourselves first, we give to people from our fullness. We give to people from our best. We give to people from our overflow. And then so the most loving thing that we can do to serve others is to say yes to fill ourselves up first. Say yes to our life. Say yes to living our best, to being our best, to becoming more of who the best version of us is. And then in that space, giving.
That's beautiful, because what I am understanding of what you're saying, correct me if not, is that when you give to please others, when you say yes to please over others, and betrayal yourself in a way, you are empty and emptying your cup more and more, instead of giving from your overflow, that you are already full, you're already satisfied with what you are doing, so you can give more and more. And as I remember Dorian Money and you saying in one of her workshops that the more I give,
Mm.
the more I am in service, the more money I receive. Uh, and it's like that because I'm already full, so I'm giving I'm in service. I'm saying that because that's the course of money and you. So money was the an issue. So then you get much more. It's not that you're draining yourself; you're filling yourself all the time.
Yeah.
And that is very hard to get there. Really, it takes courage and a lot of work, because a question is, when the pressure is high outside, because we run and rush and work and have a lot of things outside, and when the pressure is high and the voices are loud
Yes.
outside, what do you do to come to your center and say yes to you and not to the noise?
Well, first, I set my own calendar and they say put the big rocks in first. And a lot of times people will put other people's big rocks in first instead of their own big rocks in first. So if you have a glass and you put the big rocks in, and then you have the space for the pebbles and the sand and the water. But if you reverse that, and you put other people's stuff in your glass first, for example. So, like, oh, this person wants me to do that. I'm gonna put all this sand in. Oh, this person wants me to put I put all this water in. Oh, this person wants me to do this. I put all these pebbles in. Now your glass is full and you're looking at your big rocks, the things that actually matter to you, and you're like, I don't have space for this. I don't have time for this. My glass is full. All the noise, it's so much. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I don't have time to take care of myself. However, if you dump that out and you start by putting your big rocks, you know what? I'm going to take care of my health. You know what? I'm going to uh, take some time to meditate and pray. You know what? I'm going to go for a walk every day. I'm going to speak to my loved ones and the people that matter to me every day. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check my finances and direct my money. Do you know what I'm going to do? And you start putting your big rocks in, and you think, oh, my glass is full with all these big rocks of me taking care of me. But when you look, there's space between the big rocks, and you can actually pour the sand in, and the sand fills into the spaces between the rocks. And you're like, wow, I still have space because I'm full, I'm complete, I'm whole, I'm healthy, I'm energized. And from this energy, I can take care of others. And I do have space to do for others. Wow, this is incredible. You're like, wow, now that I poured the sand in, now it's full. But then you're like, wait, I can pour water in. And water fills the space between the sand and the rocks. And you're like, wow, water fits in here too. I can actually give even more. Look at that. Wow, this is incredible. And so now you're able to do more because you take care of yourself and what matters to support your foundation first. And people, again, going back to your book, Flip It Over, people tend to do it in reverse. And that's why it feels like it's full and it's a lot of noise and overflow. But you get to decide what goes in your glass first, the noise of other people or the things that fulfill you and light you up and light your soul and allow you to show up full, whole, and give from your overflow. You get to choose that every day. You get to choose that in every circumstance. I had somebody I was coaching last week, and he struggled to say the word no because his cup was so full of other people's stuff. And I said to him, "Do you know that no is a complete sentence?" And he was like, "What?" I said, "Say no." And he just, and I could see the pain, the anguish of him just, even just sitting at the table. There was nothing it was just a open space, and just say the word no. And he struggled to say it. And he goes, "No, no." And I could feel the resistance because I could hear the chatter and see it on his face and in his countenance. If I say no, they won't love me. If I say no, they won't accept me. If I say no, they're going to be mad at me. If I say no, what if they're not there for me when I need them? And I said, "Are they there for you now?" "Well, no." "And even if they do show up, do you accept the help?" "Well, no." "Exactly." I said, "So let's show up differently here." And then I said, "And if it's too harsh for you just to say no, how about trying this on for size?" "No, I don't have the bandwidth to help you right now. No, I don't have the bandwidth to do that. Thank you."
That's very, very powerful. But what happens is that it's so hard for so many people to get to that point. To you're saying no to yourself first. You're saying you're saying no all the time, but to yourself. Coming to the conversation that we had, so we have been educated, domesticated, trained, call it as you want, that we are a good person if we obey and if we follow orders and if we say yes all the time, especially as a teenagers we were saying, oh, so disrespectful, so bad behavior, don't answer to me. No, even at that time when we were kids, to the adults to say no, it was just how you dare saying no, that I don't want to do this, or I don't want to eat this. So it's so in our cells, in our cellular memory, the if you say no, they will exclude you. If you say no, they won't love you as you say. And so your yes also, when you never say no, your yes is for granted and has no weight at all.
Yeah.
That if you really respect yourself first and you say yes to you and you say, you don't have to be rude saying no, right? Those are the boundaries that we are protecting ourselves. You don't have to say, to be rude. You can be natural saying, um, oh, no, thank you, I cannot do it now, maybe later. Oh, no, I don't feel like eating that. What about if I eat something else? Uh, you can be very polite saying no.
Mm.
And yeah,
Sometimes being polite, people take that as a negotiation. Sometimes being polite, people take that as, "Oh, this is my job to change your mind." And so I've learned to not ask permission in my no. I'm letting you know that I'm not doing this thing. I'm letting you know this is not in alignment with where I am and what I'm going to do right now. And it's not a disrespect to you, it's a respect to me. And
exactly.
and I am not responsible for somebody's misinterpretation of my respecting myself. And so it's and
But for that, for to do that, you really have to be, your cup has to be really full. That
yes.
you accept yourself, that you value yourself, that you know yourself, you value, you know where are your values and your beliefs. So
Yeah.
going to beliefs and values, one
Mhm.
is a belief that you had to unlearn in order to say yes to you.
I had to change the belief that it was hard. So many people think it's hard to do, and it's actually not. It's just a habit. And so, like any other habit, we can choose to build a new habit, and you build that muscle, you build that muscle, you build it. You go to the gym and you pick up the weight and you build that resistance and you do it again and again, and it becomes easier. Then you can pick up a heavier weight and do more and do more and pick up another heavy weight and do more and do more. And you keep doing that. And this is how you become a master of yourself, a master of your environment, a master of your life. And so it's not hard. And we've been trained and conditioned to think, oh, it's so hard, I can't do that. Oh, it's so hard, or it's going to take so long. No, it happens in a heartbeat. One of my trainers, Tony Robbins, talks about, he says, people think it takes forever to make a decision, and it's not true. You make a decision in a heartbeat. It may take you years to get to that decision. That's not the same thing. When you decide and you go, it's like that. And I'm really proud of myself because I'm intentionally, continuously building that muscle. It's not a one and done. And I think that's another thing that people think, if I do something one time, I'm done. But you don't go to the bathroom one time and you're done. You don't eat once and you're done. You don't bathe or brush your teeth once and you're done in life. No, you repeat it again and again and again. And it's the same thing with everything else with this. You repeat it again and again, and you find yourself where it's easier and you have more discernment. So, and it doesn't always have to be in a hostile way or a hostile environment or something that's detrimental. It just may not be in alignment at the moment. And so, for example, I was in a business meeting today, and he said, I would love for you to help me with X, Y, and Z in my company. And I said, I would like us to focus on the thing that we agreed to do together. And no, I can't help you with those things in your company, because if I help you with those in yours, I cannot focus on mine. And he said, yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, thank you so much. I would definitely love to focus on the thing that we agreed on and on the project that we're working on. I said, great, yeah, let's do that. And then I offered suggestions for how he could get the help that he needed in what he was looking for, but it wasn't through me. And that conversation was easy and fun and with somebody I adore. And do I want to do the things and help? Yes, but it's not in alignment with my plan and my action and my bandwidth. And it will be a distraction from what I'm here to do and who I'm here to build for me. And so everything that we're saying no to is not necessarily because it's bad. It's just because it's not in alignment.
It's and being so truthful to yourself comes to an expression of yourself and projection of yourself, or transparency, honesty, authenticity, because you know what are your beliefs, you know what are your boundaries, and you know what you can do now and what you cannot do now. And even if you don't know, because sometimes we don't know what we don't know, we can easily say, as you say, is I will take into consideration, or I will think about it. I don't need to answer immediately to something that I need to make a choice. And as you say, that the decision is in a heartbeat, it will take a lot of time for that. That happens a lot to women. That it takes us years to know to make the decision to divorce, but we've been working it every single day for 15 years until we make the decision. Okay, we know we have to do it, but until we have what Pilar Sordo in Chile says, that we have the 30 seconds of courage to do it. to take the decision and really do it. But once you're aware that it's a heartbeat, you can see how many decisions you make in a day.
Mhm.
If you want to eat uh, chicken or you want to eat meat, if you want to uh, wear these pants or wear the other pants, very small things we are deciding every single day, thousands of decisions.
I love that you brought that up. One of the things that I did, um, my co-author for the book Next Life Next, JJ, and I wrote that book, and one of the things that came out of it is his training. It's a 90-day boot camp called the Execution Code. And I'm right now we're in the third iteration of that with people from around the world, helping them to execute on what they already know at an elite level, like Navy SEALs. And what happens when you're going through the boot camp is it's rewiring your nervous system and it's rewiring your brain and how you're showing up and how you're making decisions. And we have the four pillars that all of the participants operate on, which is brutal honesty, radical accountability, um, the law of questions, and the law of choice. And and in going through the first iteration of the 90 days with the people from around the world, and then going through the second iteration of the 90 days of self-mastery quest, and now going through this, what I found is that I started making decisions differently. And one of the things that I saw was I don't want to have energy leaks on decisions that don't matter. And one day I was sitting here and I said, what is taking my time, my energy, my money from my mission? And the first thing I thought was your clothes. You have so many amazing clothes and all the arrays of the rainbow and all of the textures of the world. And I travel a lot and I have such fun stuff. And I thought, me deciding what to wear every day, and sometimes multiple times a day for different activities, is actually taking up bandwidth. What if for the next 90 days, I only wore black, white, and gold, which are my branding colors for the 24K Alchemist CEO? What if I only wear black, white, and gold? So it's not just colors of my brand, but I embody it, I live it. And so I packed up everything in my wardrobe that was not those three colors. If it had a fourth color on it, it went away. And I packed everything, put it into storage, so it was not even in my space. Two things that surprised me. One, I had so much stuff still. There was so much stuff in black, white, and gold. I was like, oh my goodness. I had bathing suits, I had outerwear, I had swimsuits, I had clothes, I had coats, I had shoes, I had sneakers, I had sandals. I was like, wow, there's such an abundance here that even when I eliminate all that. And so I did that. And it was such an amazing experience. When I would pack for a trip, it took me 5 minutes to pack instead of 3 hours because
Wow.
everything matched. So I literally would just grab a handful of stuff and put it into the suitcase based on where I was going. And I knew once I got there, everything in my bag matched. I just, and so all of these little things. And I was just like, wow, this is incredible. So I shifted the clothing decision. And then I thought, what else? And again, law of questions. What else is taking up my time, energy, money from my mission? And I thought, your hair. And I had big, big, thick hair.
I remember, yeah.
Here, so I don't know if you can see on the back of the book here. And
Yes.
so lots and lots of hair. And I was just like, okay, my hair is taking up lots of my time, a lot of my attention. I'm spending an hour dealing with my hair every day. I don't like, I don't know, Black women generally we don't like to get our hair wet because it takes a lot to deal with it once it's wet. And so not swimming and going, underwater and, all these little things that I wasn't thinking were an issue, but it was fatigue. It was energy leaks. And then every other weekend going to the beautician and spending 4 hours of my time, my precious time, getting my hair done and hundreds of dollars and all of the products and all of the things. I was like, wow. But I thought, oh my gosh, but my hair, it's on my social media, it's on my books, it's part of my brand. And in the boot camp, we have an AI that JJ program called Jarvis. And I went into my Jarvis and I was like, I said, yeah, cutting my hair, I don't know. And Jarvis said, your hair is not your brand. Nobody is paying you for your hair. You are your brand. You are what's valuable, not what's on your head. And in that moment, I said, okay. And I made the decision. And I literally got up in that instant and drove to my beautician and I said, cut it all off. And she said, wait, you mean short? You mean like a bob? I said, no, cut it all off. Shave it off. And she took me to the barber in the location, and he shaved it off, and this was even shorter than it was, like this short. And I felt weird and free at the same time. And what resulted was I noticed that I was doing things that I didn't even realize I was avoiding. So I would go into the sauna and the steam room more because it just felt so good everywhere. And I didn't have to deal with tangled hair afterwards. And I'd jump into the pool and I'd go underwater and play. And when I got up in the morning, literally I take a handful of cream and water and just go like that. And ooh, and I'm done. So instead of an hour, it's 3 minutes not even 3 minutes, 2 minutes to do my hair. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And instead of spending hundreds of dollars and 4 hours at the hair salon, I'm doing my own hair, just putting a little bit of color in my hair once a month for $15 on my own. And such an amazing shift and difference. I was like, wow, and I asked myself, what else? What else is it? And I said, your nails, just like your hair, you're spending all of that time at the nail salon, getting fills and getting your manicure done and getting this done, and hundreds of dollars and hours. So your time, your money, your focus being diverted on nails. Is that your mission? And when I said, no, that's not my mission, I immediate heartbeat. I went to the nail salon. I said, take them off. Take off the fake nails. And he's like, oh, you want a new set? No, just take them off. And they were confused because, and they took them off. And of course, my nail beds were looking terrible and thin and brittle, which again, why many women continue to do it when they don't want to do it anymore. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go through the process of letting my nails heal so that I'm free from that. But they literally hurt, and it was hard for me to do anything. And I said, there has to be a solution. That's not that, but that's not where I am now. And so again, asking better and more empowering questions, I said, what is a solution that I can use to protect my nail bed while they heal? Still have nails that look beautiful as I present on stages and with clients and, just for myself. And for my own, edification without it being what it was. And so I started looking for solutions that were different. And I tried the sticker nails, and I was like, it's kind of not quite nice, and there's a lot of work, and it looks kind of iffy on me, and it wasn't quite my solution. I know it works for some people, but I didn't quite find it worked for me. And then it was still not protecting my nail bed. And I said, okay, what about the glue-on nails? And I tried those, and it was, $10, $15 a pack, and I put the glue-on nails. but they would pop off and they were messy. And I was just like, oh, this is annoying. I could feel them on top of my nails, and I didn't like the feeling, and they would just pop off randomly and things like that. So, okay, so you again, but what else? What else? What other? And you just keep searching for solutions. And then I found that they have these nails that require no glue, and you just peel off the little back and you just hold it like that for a second and it's on. And they're lighter than the ones that you use the glue for, but they're thicker than the ones that are just the paper that you put on. And I was like, oh, this actually works. And they stay on. And I can work out and I can go in the sauna, I can go swimming, I can travel, and they actually stay on. And it's like 10, $15 a pack. And it takes me 5 minutes to do my nails. And so ta-da, done. And all different colors and lengths and everything. And I was like, oh, solution. And so I less money, less time, still have the outcome that I want. And I have more bandwidth for the things that actually matter to me. And
That's beautiful, because once you make the decision
Mhm.
to go through the process, as you say, chapter number 5 in my book, Flip It Over, no, in between, to be in the in between, leaving what it was, to go through the bridge to get to what I want to go. But you see here, the solutions is not for business wise to like a lot of people do. It has to be more money. Go for you is time is very valuable for you, and freedom is very valuable for you. So all this, the what you're saying is that you are allowing yourself to be you and come to your child situation where you are curious to look for another solution. I call it childish because it's when really when we are children, we have so much curiosity to learn, to see, to explore. Then we forget when we are adults that are other ways to do the same thing.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, this laundry is driving me crazy, like your wardrobe, no? It's drive. So what's the solution? So
Yeah.
what's your solution for laundry driving you crazy? Are you going to do it once a week? Are you doing it once a month? You have enough clothes to go once a month.
Or do you want to call a service and have them pick it up and do it and drop it off?
Exactly, and do it. You have enough. And they bring it or fold it just to go into the closet. So yes, it's just to explore what other possibilities. That's why we were talking at the beginning. It's not only the possibilities, then you get the opportunities, because once you have more time now for you don't do your hair, and it's a beautiful story, Martha. And it reminded me Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton said that her hair takes too long to do. So she has, you see, she didn't cut her hair. She has the whole hair. So she bought 365, how do you call it, pelucas?
Wigs?
Wigs. So she sends 30 every time she sends it to the beauty parlor. So she doesn't need to go to the beauty parlor. She doesn't wash her hair and then toop, boop.
That is so funny, sending your hair to the beauty parlor.
Yes, she sends the wigs to the beauty parlor. She gets them done. So she always has wigs to wear. So she doesn't have
I
to
love it.
waste her time. She likes it big and all the, so she sent it to the beauty parlor. So you see, there are a lot of solutions for the same problem. It's just what fits you. But
Yes.
you have to allow yourself to explore
Mm.
and to do it differently, not as everybody does it. So
Yeah. And
that's a
even not as you did it before, even not as you did it before. Yeah.
as your family did it, as you had it in your with all your sisters or your cousin, and how I'm going to look. You have to deal with it, no? So, and now that you allow yourself to do that in your head, have you get any questions of, are you sick?
Just the opposite. I've had everyone going, "Oh my God, that's incredible. Oh, you look so amazing. Wow, you look 10 years younger. Oh my goodness, I didn't recognize you. Wow, this is incredible. Oh, you've inspired me to do this and you've inspired me to do that." And I've gotten so many beautiful compliments and so much love and support, and which is wonderful and feels great. But I didn't do it for them. I did it for me. So even if none of that came, I feel incredible and feel amazing. So that's like a bonus, not my wasn't my focus. And so it didn't matter one way or the other what other people thought. I knew why I was doing it and how I felt for it. And as you keep asking yourself the question, so I said, what else? And I said, well, I've allowed my weight to go up more than is in alignment with my identity, with how I feel as an athlete. And as a soldier, I was in the military, I was an athlete in college and in high school. And I was like, that's a different view for me. And so I started saying, how do I release the weight? And so I released 50 pounds. And then I, started building my endurance and my stamina and my muscle. And this was intentional. People were like, wow, oh my goodness. And thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for showing me what's possible. And I love that. And people ask me how I'm going to do that. How did I do this? And I'm sharing that in, all of this in some books that I'll be releasing soon. But basically, it's deciding what actually matters to you, using your law of questions to ask better and more empowering questions, find the way forward, find the multiple solutions, apply them consistently, and using your law of choice. You're always asking questions, you're always making a choice. Make a better and more empowering choice, and then another one, and then another one, and do it again consistently and repeatedly. And then again, that talk about that communal courage. As I go through the execution code boot camp, having that courage of the other participants with me. I'm sharing this with them, and they're sharing their challenges and their steps with me as well. It encourages us to move further, faster, to do more, to become more. It's not just about the doing, but the becoming. And so becoming more so that the doing happens it happens easier.
Wow, such a powerful messages, really. Um, if you would go to your teenager,
Mm,
what would you whisper her to allow herself that she didn't allow herself back then?
mm. I would say, yes, you're 14 years old and almost 6 feet tall and gangly and gawky and stringy, and you're being made fun of, and you're unsure of yourself, and life seems challenging and hard and confusing, and you're navigating all of these pitfalls. But just know that all of this is going to forge a future for you. All of this is just foundation for who you are becoming. So no matter, where you are in life, whatever you're going through, just know that everything is working out for your good. It may not feel like it's for you, but everything is for you. And when you can see the gift in everything that you're doing, everything that's happening to you, everything, start to look. We have a book coming out called WTF to OMG with a little LOL, and it's the third in a Wall Street bestseller series. And we have amazing authors that contributed to that book. And the WTF is like, what, the fertilizer? When life is hard, when life is challenging, what is happening? And then the OMG, like, oh my God, oh my goodness, oh my, what a gift. When we look back on the challenging and hard things in our life, we can see the gift in it from where we are having gone through it. And I used to say, I wouldn't have chosen it, but I'm so grateful for it. And then you even might have a little laugh and a chuckle that, oh, yeah, I did go through that. And look at how I'm using it and look at how it's serving me. And so the magic in life is when you're going through the hardship and challenges to look for the gift in the moment. Don't wait until after you're out of the hardship and challenge, but to look for the gifts in the moment and smile and laugh then because you know that there's a gift there. And I would tell my teenage self, look for the gift right now.
Look for the gift. Wow, beautiful. So, what would you say the audience now?
I would say, uh, whatever you're looking to do in life, step back one step to see who are you becoming. Anytime you're looking to see what you want to have in life, step back and look to see who are you becoming. We're trained to look for what we have and what we don't have and to try to have more. And so many people skip over doing the things to have the things that they want to have. I wanted to have a healthier, stronger body, so I did the things. I wanted to have more time and more energy and more money, so I did the things. But people are doing and doing and doing and forgetting about what comes first, becoming the person. And this is what I'm doing in the Execution Code Bootcamp, becoming the person that shows up in a different way, that shows up in that high level way. And so it's not have, do, be, like, oh, I'll take care of me. I'll become who I want to become after I have everything I have, after I do all of this work, handle all the noise and all the other people's demands and requests. No, be first, do second, have third. And in the process, remember to give from your overflow and your wholeness.
Wow, that's so beautiful, so beautiful. I'm so proud of you and of me to having you here and having this conversation for the audience that really is enriching and enhancing in so many ways. So thank you very much for sharing your heart, your journey, your wisdom, especially your wisdom. And if somebody wants to really uh, move forward and get out of the box and just don't hesitate to contact Martha. She is amazing. If you want to write a book, contact Martha. She is amazing. She's her Martha and her team can really, really guide you in beautiful, beautiful ways.
Thank you.
And also, this conversation is a reminder to all of us that allow yourself is not a one-time decision. It's a process. It's a daily practice. It's a habit. It's a muscle. Like Martha says, that with courage, with grace, with self-trust, you come here to really shine and allow yourself to be. And for everyone listening, uh, give yourself permission to take space, to rest, to start over, to decide, to look for solutions, to explore. and become that you're really meant to be. So, I like to finish, Martha, with one word. What do you take from this conversation?
I guess I would have to be.
Be. And I'm taking from this conversation foundation, the
Mm.
word foundation. So, thank you very much and see you. I hope to see you next time and welcome to Costa Rica anytime. So,
Aw,